night before Christmas to be good.
We join our heroes locked in a battle of wits.
Like, I for sure hit the record button, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
There's a 64 gig card.
Anyway, as I was saying,
Sorry.
no, that's all good. What else? So yeah, like, it didn't just naturally happen. It took years. I put myself in university and I took art courses. I took drawing foundation. I did painting foundation. I did that for a couple years. You know, I just like, I would give up going to parties and stuff. I would, you know, kind of. There was literally one time I lived in this crazy party house in Kamloops, and there was like 9 people living there. I slept in the basement, like next to paint cans and a washing machine. You know, like it was pretty like fucking spiders and everything, and just, you know, like it was pretty gnarly. But they would have like full-on house party ragers and stuff, and I'd be sitting in the corner with my hood up and headphones on, just fucking painting on an easel like some fucking weirdo. You know, once in a while someone would come sit down and have a look or try and offer me a beer. I might have the odd beer here. There was like, you know, you guys do your thing. I'm not interested. I'm working. I have a fucking goal. I have something I want to
also
achieve.
really like that you were self-aware that it was weird, but you're not a weird guy like that.
No, I'm a pretty weird guy.
But no, but like real weird guys are like, oh, I didn't realize that it was a social faux pas.
I was basically Todd with the scarf. You go, Death, you are my bitch lover!
See,
You telling me those
the self-aware thing makes you not weird.
Yeah, it was basically Todd without the scarf.
Yeah.
It is incredible, like, if you get too much in like a bubble. It's like, even though you have access to the internet and you can kind of like just see through media and movie, that shit blows my mind. Because it's like, we all see the same movies, basically. Like, it's all the same shit in the theaters. All the same movies get popular. It's the same cult classics. We all see the same shit. So we all kind of have this baseline for what's societally normal. And then the fact that some people can just fall totally out of that normality and then be like, no, this is actually what's super normal. And it's like, yeah, but nothing. Where are you getting this from? It's like, there's no reference to what the kind of lifestyle you're living or whatever. It's incredible. It's like,
Wait,
I don't want to.
Patrick Bateman from American Psycho is not the archetype.
It's like Sam and I. It's like we do a lot of the same kind of stuff, and it's started to freak me out, man.
One thing that Kit and I had an interesting conversation about when we were coming back from, or the shoot coming back from Swift-Kern is, we talked a little bit about like diminishing skills, and it's like, well, Kit does music and Kit does the tattooing, and it's like these are like, especially with handwork, with playing guitar and stuff, and like if you don't keep these things practiced up, you'll get dull a little bit at least. I mean, Kit, you were kind of referred to tattooing as like riding a bike. Like once you get on there, like you can always kind of get back to it. But I remember very specifically, because I'm back and forth between here in the summer, and when I'm here, I do very different things I do when I'm back home. And I was a farmhand for many years, and I don't know what exactly made me think of this, but I remember getting in a piece of heavy equipment last fall. I don't know if it was the combine or something. And I was a farmhand for so long that was such... Oh, I think this is Francois forgetting the mailbox thing. It was like the skill set that I was so confident in, I felt clunky.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, my brain doesn't remember as good as I thought I would how to run this. Like, I feel a little bit like a stranger in the cab of this piece of equipment.
So you put thousands of hours
on. I was like, this is a little fucked. Like, I don't like that I'm not as good as I was.
Yeah.
So it's like I think of like, you know, forgetting things or diminishing skills and stuff like that. And I mean, there's lots of professions where, I mean, professional athletes, that's a diminishing skill set. And that's like your body fails you, not necessarily like a mental preparation or anything like that. But I don't know if I feel that. I take, you know, sometimes breaks from filmmaking and stuff. I don't ever feel like that in this way.
I think we've never taken an
Long
extended
enough,
break. Yeah, I think if we like did
6 months or something.
yeah, like a year. If none of us touched the camera for a year,
Then it would feel
you'd
weird.
probably start sweating a little bit, and I'd be like, oh fuck, what are all the fundamentals and basics? Because there's so much. I feel like with every fucking thing, anything you get kind of good at or get proficient in, it's like you have like an unconscious, just like, I need to do this, then this, and you don't even think about it. It's just like, it's like if you're tattooing, it's like you set up a tattoo gun, you know how to do it without even fucking.
Oh, no. Clunky is a good. There's fucking skill fade, and there's 100% like. you know, even taking a couple weeks off, there's a stress and an anxiety with coming back to it where.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're like, when you're good at it, it's like you could assemble a tattoo gun or whatever blindfolded. But then it's like you have your 4 months off. Never? You don't think if you did it every day?
Gets a terrible
Well, I use a rotary now. I would never take it apart in my fucking life, you know.
Fuck, all right.
But
Like anything else.
for example, I took almost 2 years off of tattooing. Like that was one of the reasons I ended up in Saskatchewan. I had quit tattooing completely. I decided I'm not doing this anymore. I've had enough. I need to kind of step away from this. And ultimately, that led me to Saskatchewan. I had like a crazy moment of clarity while I was like in Tofino by myself, and you know, I had this like clear, direct thought come into my head, like move to Saskatchewan and get Nick, you know, like one of my former bandmates. And one of the things that I needed to do to achieve that was essentially to leave tattooing behind, and it felt like the right thing to do. I took 1.5 years to almost 2 years off where I didn't even touch a fucking machine, you know. And eventually, when I made the decision to come back to it, I was stressed. I was
Man, and
anxious.
that's the other thing. It's like I come back to running a piece of equipment, I can just drive around the yard slow, or like we could reshoot the same scene 100 times until I like get my bearings. It's like you're putting permanent ink in someone's skin.
Well, you get good buddies who, you know, understand what's going on. Usually you give them, like, you know, a freebie or a bit of a deal or something. Like my buddy Devin. Thank you, Devin. Love you. But, you know, like the first one coming back, I was excited. I was nervous. There was adrenaline, you know. I had stress and everything. And it's not, you know, it's a little clunky. It's not my cleanest fucking tattoo I've ever done. But it didn't look terrible, you know. And from there, you just get that kind of relief to go like, oh, okay.
It's not lost forever.
We can still do this. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to be, like, there's going to be a fucking, like, you know, like going back to the gym after having some time off. You're going to get sore. You're not going to be able to lift as much. If you try and get right back to where you were, you're going to hurt yourself. It's
Yeah,
the same thing with any other
absolutely.
skill, you know? So, baby steps until you're back in the swing of things. And once you're in the swing of things, it's like, fuck, you know? You know, there's been other times, too, like, you know, taking time off for surgery and stuff where I've been forced to step away from it for months at a time. You know, and each time you just kind of have that knowledge of, you know, okay, you did this before and it was fine.
Have you ever
So you're
had
gonna
that
be
kind
fine.
of a break with music or guitar playing or anything like that where you're
Not intentionally, like there was never like a decision to step away, other than like quitting a band or something.
right?
There's never been a decision where I was like, I want to walk away from this. I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe like halfway up a flight of stairs with a Marshall cab where it's like, I'm not getting paid. This fucking sucks. you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I still love it. You know, like I fucking...
I look at somebody like Aspen who can play like 100 fucking instruments.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can you remain studio level proficient at all these fucking things unless he's just practicing when he's not answering my fucking calls?
Probably.
Pick up the
It's-
fucking phone, Aspen. Goddamn.
It's not a choice. It's like it's an obsession. You know, it's something like, and I see this in some people like Aspen or my girlfriend, you know, like they get completely dedicated into what they're doing, where it just, you know, you almost have to like step back a bit and be like, oh yeah, right. You know, like there's still a world around. But I think Aspen is really, and my girlfriend's really good at this too, you know, about like being self-aware and everything, and just kind of like understanding that, you know, you do need to work hard, and they work their asses off, but they still make time for everything that's important. So it's just all about balance. It's all about that yin yang.
You know, and I think the other thing now that I think about this is like us name dropping people that we think are talented and proficient in these skills. We used to have a saying back home for people who are no good at anything, because these people exist. So it's like they spent no time honing any sort of valuable skill of any kind. And we used to call them rounded screwdrivers, because nothing's more useless than a rounded off screwdriver. You can't use it as a punch, a chisel, anything. It's good for fucking nothing.
It's a paperweight.
Yeah,
But even then, it still rolls.
Yeah, exactly. It's still good for anything. So, and I think we do take that for granted. And kind of going back to where we started, Kit, where we were talking about like people propping you up. A lot of that for me, especially when skill building and stuff, is surrounding myself with other people who are, even if it's not the same skill sets, people who are passionate and talented about getting better at their craft. Because there's lots of people where I walk into a room, and no disrespect if that's the way you want to live your life, but I'm just like, everyone that I'm talking to is so like just going through the motions, and like it's like just living and not like they're not passionate.
Like
and I'm
treading water is
just
kind
like,
of
fuck,
how I
this
look at
sucks,
it. Yeah.
you know?
Well, Salvador Dali was a guy who said, you know, like the key to being a true artist isn't to be inspired, it's to inspire others. So
Yeah.
if you're living a life that other people are looking up to and going like, what you're doing is cool, I want to do that, you know, or like, you know, not to make it Like you know, I'm not a big shot. I'm not a master at anything. I'm just a guy who's just doing what he wants to do. You know, but I still have people like you guys, or like, you know, like I keep talking about, like the Skull Creek community up here, or, you know, like Luna and stuff like that, that they're just like the most supportive people I've ever been around. And through them kind of like, you know, being there and encouraging me and supporting me and lifting me up and helping me to achieve all those things, like, fuck, I've done it on my own and I've done it this way, and I would never want to go back to the way it was before.
Yeah, the lone wolf thing's not nearly as fun.
No, I mean, it sounds fucking cool. It'd be a good set of knuckle tattoos, but no,
Yeah.
I'd rather have, you know, the support from people I love and people who fucking love me back, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's something that, you know, you got to stop looking at it as, Aspen said something the other day where he was like, it takes a village, right?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
at the end of the day, yeah, sure, it'd be my name there up there on stage or whatever. But I can't sit back and take credit for everything. Sure, I might write the fucking lyrics or go, oh, I've got a little riff here. It sounds pretty cool. But, you know, you guys make the video. Aspen fucking helps me make the song into what it is. The musicians that come and play on it make it the track that it's going to be. You know, I have the emotional support from Luna, you know, like fucking hearing me out whenever I'm stressed or anxious or anything, you know, and, you know, just fucking genuinely wanting me to succeed. So if I didn't have all that, then I wouldn't be doing nearly as many cool things as people think that I do. But I do spend a vast majority of my time in sweatpants.
He's a big, huge sweatpants guy.
Yeah.
To go back to the beginning of the episode, again, if you can name the episode in which I called myself Francis Ferdinand, and then
Franz.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
I will mail you $100 cash in the mail, which is not advisable. Andrew has
And let's go out on this one here. So would you rather have to fill your pants with gravy every morning?
Wait, hold on.
No.
Country gravy or regular gravy?
baby gravy.
Baby gravy?
Dealer's fucking choice.
Dealer's choice. Yeah, you get to pick if it's sausage gravy or chicken gravy, turkey gravy, brown,
whatever gravy.
It has to be an animal.
As long as
Vegan
it
mushroom gravy?
as long as it can be considered gravy, you're filling your pants with it. You're good.
Young gravy?
Young gravy. That's pretty spicy. Or work as a human condom. I don't know what that exactly means, but
Like just blocking the blast radius or something, like,
yeah, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna pick a different. That one doesn't make sense.
or like the old switcheroo like you do with horses?
Yeah.
Somebody pulls their fucking dick out and sticks it in your fucking mouth.
What?
That's
I think more the leather satchel.
That's the most. Yeah, that's the most.
like the
oh,
golf bag.
Okay, or
Boy, they have
you have to
tremendously penises.
live in in a McDonald's playhouse with Ronald McDonald as your roommate.
Gravy.
Ronnie might be a nice guy.
Andrew? What? How is that?
It'd just be French
It wasn't a
fries, just
playhouse,
dipping into the
but
gravy.
I did live at
Andrew
Ronnie's
lived
house.
at Andrew lived at Rotten Ronnie's for a while.
Yeah.
With Ronald McDonald in the house.
I asked him
I mean, Grimace was next door, so he
When-
was a little weird.
when,
but
ironically enough,
Grimace is the purple
our
one,
friend
right?
is here. But when, why didn't you tell him?
yeah, when my son Drew was born, he was 8 weeks premature, and he was born in Halifax. Well, his mom was visiting her mother who lived there, and so yeah, I flew down and I had to live in Ronald McDonald house for a month.
And I,
yeah.
I remember Andrew called me, and I was working down the oil field. Just like driving around talking. We talked for like hours because you had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, at first I was like, are you like getting like just like a fucking buffet, like Big Macs, whatever you want, like the pump with the Big Mac sauce.
What do they have? It's like the pancakes, but it's like the sandwich made out
McGriddle.
of
McGriddles.
Yeah, those things.
But no, it's all church food, and there's no McDonald's anything there.
I mean, church food can be pretty good.
It was
depends
fine.
what
It was
church.
fine. Like you were just like, for some reason you were like expecting it was like Ronald McDonald house, and then like is like off the back of McDonald's, and it's like or you were picturing one of two things: either
They just smell
Yeah.
like fucking French fries.
or it's like
24 hours
there's
a
like
day.
a little like home-sized personal McDonald's that operates to feed the people in the house.
I think it's like McDonald's can get food so cheap with their buying power that they should be doing Max fries, and the other thing is, I just thought all the garbage cans would be like the Hamburglar holding like those big old like 1990s
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say,
ceramic
What did they do with all the '90s stuff? They took it to the wrong dollhouse.
and like
All those
I just
N64 things.
I pictured you sitting in like those old teal and pink chairs that swivel, but they're on a fucking pipe built into the fucking chair, and like you had like Grimace blankets and stuff. I wanted it so bad. And then every day I'd call and be like, "How's Grimace doing today?" Or "How's the Hamburglar?"
How's the Hamburglar? Or like, how's Ronnie's house?
Yeah. Just because you said premature baby, I learned something about premature babies like 2 days ago. I was reading an article, and they successfully grew lamb in the first artificial womb from fucking conception till birthing, I'm assuming. It was crazy pictures if you want to see it. It's just like this plastic fucking artificial womb. Anyways, they were talking about how that technology is going to be used for premature babies. And then I learned that when a premature baby is born, the second it breathes, its lungs stop developing completely. And it's like, that's one of the, and so the biggest risk with premature babies is that they have they might have breathing problems later in life.
Okay, so on that, my brother was premature. He was 6 weeks premature, and he has something called spontaneous pneumothorax, where his lungs just deflate at random.
Yeah. So I would
God,
assume,
that's terrifying.
I would assume it's because like he was born premature.
Yeah.
Because like they said that like that's one of the scariest things, especially I can't remember. There's this. I read the article and they had this like danger window because like a certain amount of premature they're like it's basically fine, but then there's this danger window where they got to put you in like the NICU and like you got to sit there for fucking ever or
That'd
whatever.
be a great name for
But
an 80s band.
This artificial womb, what they want to do now is like if a baby's born premature, I don't know how they prevent you from breathing or whatever, but they prevent you from breathing basically. They get you in this artificial womb right away, and then they can fucking force you to develop the rest of the way. And I'm like, man, technology's fucking
also like
doing some cool stuff.
let them overbake a little bit so they're like superhuman.
Like,
wait till they're like 6'10", 240, and then let them out.
Just this
like
these nightmare bags full of developed children.
Like they've been banging HGH and clenbuterol for
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, it's like
These 10-year-olds that are just like,
And then with like artificial intelligence and stuff.
it's like he's 9 and he
wires
plays
in their-
outside linebacker for the Miami Dolphins.
Totally,
It's like
kid wakes up in a white expanse and they're like, hello child, you will be developing in this digital expanse until you are 10 and then you can enter the real world. It's like, this is fun.
well, thanks for coming on, kid. That was a hoot and a holler.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for having me.
anything you have coming up to promote? This is going to be released in like
Mid-December.
middle of December. So anything coming up that you want to
In the new year.
plug?
Yeah, I'm currently I just finished recording my debut solo album with Skull Creek with Aspen recording and producing. I've got a whole whack of people on it, like Aspen plays on it, David Wickstrom, Paul Kuzbik, Bruce Rawling, Nevada Eagle speaker, Rebecca Beveridge. If I'm drawing a blank on anyone, I'm so fucking sorry, but you'll be
Eliza?
credited on the album. No, Eliza, it didn't work out with that, unfortunately,
shoot.
just a timing issue. That would have been cool, but we'll be doing stuff with her in the future.
Sweet.
So that album's coming out in the spring, and I'm going to be doing a whole whack of shows. Don't have an exact date right now, but it's looking like April is going to be, the big whack of the album release, CD release shows. Joel from Funky Moose, Joel and Mark are helping me out with that a bit, with like different merch and digital, and Joel's my manager, and he's been, at the front run of trying to get everything happening for me. Old Souls, we just recorded a 4-song EP, and we're actually recording a music video this weekend. So keep an eye out for that. We're hopefully playing a shitload of shows coming up. My second surgery went well, and I'm back in the swing of things, so I can actually play again and, sing my little heart out without my guts, bursting out of me. So I'm looking forward to that. I also have joined up with Ardell and Burke and Romeo in the Blackbird sessions.
Oh, that's such a great combo. I said that before, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so we are, looks like we're going to be recording a song with Skull Creek this weekend. We don't have anything scheduled for release or anything, but there will be shows with that too. Other than that, if you feel like getting tattooed, I'll be in BC for the next 2 months at Station Street. I'm going to spend some time with Luna and, get domestic over Christmas. And then I'll be back in the spring. If you want to get tattooed in Saskatoon, come get tattooed by me or my heterosexual life partner, Tim Turner, brother Tim, at Slower Turner. And we both work at Black Dagger Tattoo. Also keep an eye out for the music video that these guys are doing for me, which we'll be releasing in the spring as well. Album's going to be called Restless, so we're doing the title track for the video. And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm fucking pumped. I think it's going to be a good one.
Awesome.
Also, you starred in Hellbent.
That too.
Yeah.
I
Coming
did that.
in
I forgot
December.
about that.
Coming out in
Check
December
that
as
out.
well. It'll be out probably when this comes out.
Yeah, it'll be out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye now.